Good evening, sci-fi fans. Once again, Willy Todgerson Jr. is coming all over your screens live from the power of the YouTube internet website. You may remember my name from many a book, maybe a book you have read. A book such as The Man Who Was Made of Bad Atoms, or its sequel, The Man Who Was Not Made of Bad Atoms. I think you'll find that was a very intelligent sequel, written by myself and definitely not ghostwritten by anyone at all. You may also remember the science fiction classic, The Special Insights of Mr. Guernsey, a short novella about a man who visits a young child and his insides open up and he becomes a portal to the world of Jimbandonde. It is time for a book haul. I have been gallivanting around the United Kingdom of Scotland, visiting many a shop which sells a book. Beside me, unbeknownst to you, are many piles of paperback books, and I will show you them, beginning now. I would like to start with the Chronicles of Morgaine by C.G. Cherry. This looks very engrossing because it is very thick, like a big fat doorstop Stephen King book. Tim from Secret Fire Books has recommended this very series of books to me personally and everyone else on the internet many times. Although there are no naked men, from what I gather, there is a woman with hair. That's good. This is also a Tim-related book, Casca, God of Death, from a series of many books. I think there are maybe 7 million nowadays, about a man who is immortal. He is reborn as many other men who fight in wars, as some sort of punishment or something, I don't know. Not read it yet. Bloody hell, the camera is awful. I also bought Death Dream by Ben Bovard. I don't know what it's about. It looks quite good. Look, there's an eyeball on it. Very nice. Precocious. Precarious. What does word mean? I should know, I'm an author. Dennis Wheatley, Library of the Occult, The Necromancers by R.H. Benson. Mostly, I bought it because it looks like there's a lady's head in a jar. Are these in focus? Who knows? Not I. Not Before Time by John Brunner. Another guaranteed best-selling collection of wide-ranging science fiction and fantasy stories, which keep John Brunner, author of The Sheep Look Down and Stand on Zanzibar, in the forefront of the top science fiction writers of today. Much like myself, 50 years ago. Here is a Michael Moorcockian book called The Warlord of the Air. I believe this is part of a series. Yes, it appears to be part of a series. Reading the back has informed me of this. One day I may read it. Here is another Michael Moorcockian book. It is Von Beck, which is not Elric's surname. I have also bought Robert Sheckley's Options, which appears to be a book about a Paul Daniels type man pulling a rabbit with a... Is that a beard? Does this rabbit have a beard? I'll cover my face. Maybe it will go into the focus. I suspect that will be a good read. Here we go. Rabbit Silverberg. And the Man with Two Faces. I'm in the second trip. Look at the back. Very informative, like most books. Here is a particularly handsome devil called Unicorn Variations, and it features a unicorn playing chess. What a funny image! Not even I could have come up with such a delightful situation. I don't know what it's about. I assume there's probably a unicorn playing chess in the book. Speaking of a book, here is a book called In Iron Years by Samuel L. Gordon R. Dixon. The work of a master. Hugo winner, Nebula winner, author of the classic Dorsai novels of the Shield cycle. Gordon R. Dixon is without doubt one of the finest authors this field has ever produced. Much like myself. Here we have another book which I have bought in a shop called Michael Moorcock. That's an odd name for a book. I see what I've done. Michael Moorcock is the man who wrote the book. You may have heard of him from a couple of minutes ago when I had another book by Michael Moorcock. This is The English Assassin, which is also a part of a series which I have not read. I believe it is some sort of Austin Powers man who goes about doing things. Here's another book by Algis J. Budris called Blood and Burning. I believe it is a short story collection. Let me check it out. Yes, it is indeed a short story collection featuring short stories, as opposed to long stories which are called novels and novellas. Oh my goodness me! Here we have two books which are almost identical in livery, but are quite different on the back of them because they are different books. I believe these are from one series of books set in a post-apocalyptic land known as Earth. I believe some of us have been there. Here we go. It's more books time. Here is a book by Edmund Cooper called Seed of Light, and it appears to be some sort of fat wang drawn on the front. It may be a spaceship. We'll never know unless we read the book, and it describes not a fat wang but a spaceship. Then we will know for sure. I've got so many books here, I don't know what to do. Here we go. It's a door book. That's right. I have procured more door books. And this one has a picture in the inside of the book. Probably like many of my other door books that I never shown. Look at this spine. Isn't that bloody atrocious? The Broken Cycle. A new John Grimes adventure. I haven't read any of the John Grimes adventures. One day maybe I will learn to read a book. But not today, because I am instead showing pictures of books on the internet. Here is the ship that sailed the time stream by the GC Edmondson. I don't know who that is. Oh my God! Philip K. Dick himself has written a book, The World Jones Made, which I believe is actually a rip-off of one of my own books, called The Planet Bilbo Baggins Made, which itself is a rip-off of The Lord of the Rings, a little-known book by a man who shall not be mentioned, because he will sue me for stealing his books. Here is another questionable fellow, L. Ron Hubbard, the cult leader of the Scientology group, back when he was but a normal man and not a god. Smells like cultism. Here we go. It is Iron Brand, which looks like another book that Tim may enjoy. There's a large green monster, and definitely what appears to be a naked man. Tim's favourite. Here is a door book. Another door book. I have become master of the door books, for I have received 2 more. And by received, I mean I went into a shop and I bought them. This is another Gordon Ardixon book called Mutants, which I believe is another short story collection. By New Hearth Fires, Idiot Solvant, Danger, Human. These are all titles of short stories in this book. Here we go. It's another door book. I've gone mad with power. Although it ain't yellow. Oh, but it has a lovely image. Very good indeed. Here we go. Alf. Not the small furry man from the 1980s, but some other guy. This is a book about a man who was created by bad atoms? Oh no! I'm sure I wrote this book first. 1972. Intriguing. Ignore that. Earth's Last Citadel by C.L. Moore and Henry Kettner, who I believe are the same person, and they are also married to themselves, and they are also 2 people who are married. One is a lady, one is not a lady. And another book I have bought, Samuel R. Delany's The Fall of the Towers, which I believe is actually 3 books. Yes. The Fall of the Towers is Samuel R. Delany's epic trilogy, conceived and written on the thunderous scale of Asimov's Foundation. So he ripped off Isaac Asimov, as did we all, except me. I'm better than him, probably. Here we have a John Brunner book called Out of My Mind. I believe John Brunner may have wrote this after he forgot Elric's surname. That's not as good. Here we see on the back a reduced sticker implying that the book was reduced at some point in the past. Here we have a Robert Asprin book known as The Cold Cash War, which may be rare or something, because I paid £7 whole for this book, and it is dedicated to Gordon Dixon. That bloody man gets everywhere. Here we go. This one is very lovely indeed. Future Imperfect by James Gunn. But not the new James Gunn who made the Superman film. The old James Gunn, who wrote other such books as this book. And, indeed, this book, The Mind Master by James Gunn. Isn't that a lovely cover? I hope it is in focus, because if it is not, I can't be bothered doing anything about it. It is the 22nd century. It is the age of ecstasy. And that is what we have to look forward to, my friends. Here we have a Michael Coney book called Friends Come in Boxes, which is, if you ask me, a bloody disgusting title. Filth. My goodness gracious. It is a door book. A fourth door book called The Second War of the Worlds, based upon H.G. Wells' famous book War of the Worlds. You may remember it from the Tom Cruise movie, which was... Here we have another book. Could it be in focus? No, I don't know. Here we have Keith Laumer, The Breaking Earth, which appears to be a book about some sort of big earthquakey thing called an earthquake. Lovely stuff. One day it shall be read by me. My goodness. We appear to have procured another James Gunn book by James Gunn, the man who was made of good atoms because he could write books. This book looks a tad spooky. Could it be an October spooky season type book about some sort of thing? 9 violent deaths, 9 quotes from Blake. I don't know who Blake is. Draw Damon Reed into a strange and baffling mystery that interrupts his self-imposed isolation and plunges him into a compelling, clairvoyant connection with a maniacal killer. Very good. Sounds a bit far-fetched to me. This one, however, is not as far-fetched and seems to be about mankind being threatened with extermination by a race of 300-foot-high aliens from another star system. Gold! A specially created Superman is called to Earth's moon base on a desperate mission. He must take over a specially built control room inside a captured giant's brain and return him to the enemy planet. That is definitely not as far-fetched as a detective detecting criminal thingies. Here we go. A book by Fritz Libero, who sounds very German to me. Liber. Fritz Liber. This appears to be a book by Fritz Liber. What is it? It says it's a novel. It says it's a novel. It says it's a novel. And other stories by Fritz Liber. I have so many books here. Who knows what books are new and what books are not new? Here are some. Another L. Ron Hubbard book, which has a lovely turquoise text block. I learned that word on the internet from Sir Outlaw Books. Man, here we have Grey Matters by William Hertzberg. It is about a 12-year-old boy called Skeets, whose body was demolished in the worst plane crash of the 1970s. Which sounds very intriguing indeed. Here we have a Paul Wilson book called Dinnytown World, where pit bulls have been replaced by genetically engineered tyrannosauruses. Clones of dead movie idols are available to all who have the price. Urchins, children born without a license, have no rights, not even the right to exist. Nobody has the right to exist. It just happens. I believe being a science fiction author, same thing. Here, The Reluctant Wizard. This reminds me of myself, who am also be a reluctant wizard. Wood! That was the reference. Here we go. What? I appear to have gone mad again. Thank you, sci-fi fans, for watching my little book haul video on this YouTube channel. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope it was incredibly informative for you. Maybe you will hunt out some of these books yourself, like this one featuring news from the geldings, Wizard Jim and his long wand, and his golden robes. Golden robes. Gold robes, golden robes, golden robes. Why does that sound so familiar? Could it be because I am a golden man? Here is another book which I got a year ago called Garbology. It is a book featuring a short story, not by me, by one of my chummies, my best friend mates, the horror man, Sebastian Imperius. He is a good friend of mine. I believe he made a little internet video of his own recently. You should seek it out and listen to his short story, which is very, very scary. Especially as it is now Halloween. Here's another book I've just noticed.